Chapters 8 through 11 of the Gospel according to Matthew, from the American Bible Union's New Testament. This Librivox recording is in the public domain. Recording by Mark Penfold. Chapters 8 through 11 of the Gospel according to Matthew. Chapter 8. When he had come down from the mountain, great multitudes followed him. And, behold, there came a leper and bowed down to him, saying, Lord, if thou wilt, thou canst cleanse me. And stretching forth his hand, he touched him, saying, I will, be thou cleansed. And immediately his leprosy was cleansed. And Jesus says to him, See thou tell no one, but go, show thyself to the priest, and offer the gift that Moses commanded for a testimony to them. And as he entered into Capernaum, there came to him a centurion, beseeching him and saying, Lord, my servant lies at home palsied, grievously tormented. And Jesus says to him, I will come and heal him. The centurion answered and said, Lord, I am not worthy that thou shouldst come under my roof, but only say in a word, and my servant will be healed. For I am a man under authority, having soldiers under me. And I say to this one, Go, and he goes, and to another, Come, and he comes, and to my servant, Do this, and he does it. And Jesus, hearing it, marveled, and said to those who followed, Verily I say to you, I found not so great faith even in Israel. And I say to you that many will come from the east and west, and will recline at table with Abraham and Isaac and Jacob in the kingdom of heaven. But the sons of the kingdom will be cast out into the outer darkness. There will be the weeping and the gnashing of teeth. And Jesus said to the centurion, Go thy way, and as thou didst believe, be it done to thee. And his servant was healed in that hour. And Jesus, coming into the house of Peter, saw his mother-in-law lying and sick with fever. And he touched her hand, and the fever left her, and she arose and ministered to him. When evening was come, they brought to him many that were possessed with demons. And he cast out the spirits with a word, and healed all that were sick, that it might be fulfilled which was spoken through Isaiah the prophet, saying, Himself took our infirmities, and bore our sicknesses. And Jesus, seeing great multitudes about him, commanded to depart to the other side. And a certain scribe came and said to him, Teacher, I will follow thee whithersoever thou goest. And Jesus says to him, The foxes have holes, and the birds of the air nests, but the Son of Man has not where he may lay his head. And another of his disciples said to him, Lord, suffer me first to go and bury my father. But Jesus said to him, Follow me, and let the dead bury their own dead. And when he had entered into the ship, his disciples followed him. And behold, there arose a great tempest in the sea, so that the ship was covered by the waves. But he was sleeping. And the disciples came and awoke him, saying, Lord, save us! We perish! And he says to them, Why are ye fearful, ye of little faith? Then rising, he rebuked the winds and the sea, and there was a great calm. And the men marveled, saying, What manner of man is this, that even the winds and the sea obey him? And when he had come to the other side, into the country of the Gadarenes, there met him two possessed with demons, coming out of the tombs, exceedingly fierce, so that no one was able to pass by that way. And behold, they cried out, saying, What have we to do with thee, Son of God? Camest thou hither to torment us before the time? And there was afar off from them a herd of many swine feeding. And the demons besought him, saying, If thou cast us out, send us away into the herd of swine. And he said to them, Go. And they, coming out, went away into the swine. And behold, the whole herd rushed down the steep into the sea, and perished in the waters. And the herdsmen fled and went away into the city, and told everything, and what had befallen the possessed with demons. And behold, all the city came out to meet Jesus, and seeing him, they besought that he would depart from their borders. Chapter 9. And entering into the ship, he passed over and came to his own city. And behold, they brought to him one that was palsied, lying on a bed. And Jesus, seeing their faith, said to the palsied man, Child, be of good cheer, thy sins are forgiven. And behold, certain of the scribes said within themselves, This man blasphemes. And Jesus, knowing their thoughts, said, Wherefore think ye evil in your hearts? For which is easier to say, Thy sins are forgiven, or to say, Arise and walk? But that ye may know that the Son of Man has power on earth to forgive sins, then says he to the palsied man, Arise, take up thy bed, and go to thy house. And rising up, he departed to his house. And seeing it, the multitudes feared and glorified God, who gave such power to men. And Jesus, passing on from thence, saw a man named Matthew sitting at the place of receiving custom. And he says to him, Follow me. And he rose up and followed him. And it came to pass that, as he reclined at table in the house, behold, many publicans and sinners came and reclined at table with Jesus and his disciples. And the Pharisees, seeing it, said to his disciples, Why does your teacher eat with the publicans and the sinners? And Jesus, hearing it, said, They who are well need not a physician, but they who are sick. But go and learn what this means. I desire mercy and not sacrifice, for I came not to call righteous men, but sinners. Then come to him the disciples of John, saying, Why do we and the Pharisees fast often, but thy disciples fast not? And Jesus said to them, Can the sons of the bride chamber mourn so long as the bridegroom is with them? But days will come when the bridegroom will be taken from them, and then they will fast. And no one puts a piece of unfulled cloth on an old garment, for that which fills it up takes from the garment, and a worse rent is made. Nor do they put new wine into old skins, else the skins burst, and the wine runs out, and the skins are destroyed. But they put new wine into new skins, and both are preserved together. While he was speaking these things to them, behold, there came a ruler and bowed down to him, saying, My daughter just now died, but come and lay thy hand upon her, and she will live. And Jesus arose and was following him, he and his disciples. And behold, a woman having a flow of blood 12 years came behind and touched the fringe of his garment. For she said within herself, If I only touch his garment, I shall be made whole. And Jesus, turning and seeing her, said, Daughter, be of good cheer, thy faith has made thee whole. And the woman was made whole from that hour. And Jesus, coming into the house of the ruler, and seeing the minstrels and the crowd making a noise, said, Give place, for the maiden is not dead, but is sleeping. And they laughed him to scorn. But when the crowd was put forth, he went in and took hold of her hand. And the maiden arose. And this report went abroad into all that land. And as Jesus passed on from thence, 2 blind men followed him, crying and saying, Have mercy on us, Son of David. And when he had come into the house, the blind men came to him. And Jesus says to them, Believe ye that I am able to do this? They say to him, Yea, Lord. Then he touched their eyes, saying, According to your faith be it done to you. And their eyes were opened. And Jesus sternly charged them, saying, Take heed, let no one know it. But they, going out, spread abroad his fame in all that country. And as they were going out, behold, they brought to him a man dumb, possessed with a demon. And the demon being cast out, the dumb spoke. And the multitudes marveled, saying, It was never so seen in Israel. But the Pharisees said, He casts out the demons through the prince of the demons. And Jesus went about all the cities and villages, teaching in their synagogues, and preaching the good news of the kingdom, and healing every sickness and every infirmity. And seeing the multitudes, he was moved with compassion for them, because they were harassed and scattered, as sheep having no shepherd. Then he says to his disciples, "The harvest indeed is great, but the laborers are few. Pray therefore the Lord of the harvest, that he will send forth laborers into his harvest." Chapter 10. And calling to him his 12 disciples, he gave them authority over unclean spirits, so as to cast them out, and to heal every sickness and every infirmity. And the names of the 12 apostles are these: first, Simon, who is called Peter, and Andrew his brother, James the son of Zebedee, and John his brother, Philip and Bartholomew, Thomas and Matthew the publican, James the son of Alphaeus, and Lebbaeus, surnamed Thaddeus, Simon the Canaanite, and Judas Iscariot, who also betrayed him. These 12 Jesus sent forth, and charged them, saying, "Go not into the way to the Gentiles, and into a city of Samaritans enter not, but go rather to the lost sheep of the house of Israel. And as ye go, preach, saying, The kingdom of heaven is at hand. Heal the sick, raise the dead, cleanse lepers, cast out demons. Freely ye received, freely give. Provide not gold, nor silver, nor brass in your girdles, nor bag for the journey, nor 2 coats, nor sandals, nor staff. For the laborer is worthy of his living. And into whatever city or village ye shall enter, inquire who in it is worthy, and there abide till ye go thence. But when ye come into the house, salute it. And if the house be worthy, let your peace come upon it. But if it be not worthy, let your peace return to you. And whoever shall not receive you, nor hear your words when ye go out of that house or city, shake off the dust of your feet. Verily I say to you, it shall be more tolerable for the land of Sodom and Gomorrah in the day of judgment than for that city. Behold, I send you forth as sheep in the midst of wolves. Be therefore wise as serpents, and simple as doves. But beware of men, for they will deliver you up to councils, and will scourge you in their synagogues. And before governors also and kings will ye be brought for my sake, for a testimony to them and to the Gentiles. But when they deliver you up, take not thought how or what ye shall speak, for it shall be given you in that hour what ye shall speak. For it is not ye that speak, but the Spirit of your Father that speaks in you. And the brother will deliver up the brother to death, and the father the child. And children will rise up against parents, and cause them to be put to death. And ye will be hated by all for my name's sake. But he that has endured to the end, the same shall be saved. But when they persecute you in this city, flee into the other. For verily I say to you, ye shall not have gone over the cities of Israel, till the Son of Man come. A disciple is not above the teacher, nor a servant above his Lord. It is enough for the disciple that he be as his teacher, and the servant as his Lord. If they called the master of the house Beelzebul, how much more those of his household? Fear them not therefore, for there is nothing covered that shall not be revealed, and hid that shall not be known. What I say to you in the darkness, that speak ye in the light, and what ye hear in the ear, that proclaim upon the housetops. And be not afraid of those who kill the body, but are not able to kill the soul, but rather fear him who is able to destroy both soul and body in hell. Are not 2 sparrows sold for a penny? And one of them shall not fall on the ground without your Father. But the very hairs of your head are all numbered. Fear not therefore, ye are of more value than many sparrows. Every one therefore who shall acknowledge me before men, him will I also acknowledge before my Father who is in heaven. But whoever shall deny me before men, him will I also deny before my Father who is in heaven. Think not that I came to send peace on the earth. I came not to send peace, but a sword. For I came to set a man at variance with his father, and a daughter with her mother, and a bride with her mother-in-law, and a man's foes will be they of his household. He that loves father or mother more than me is not worthy of me. And he that loves son or daughter more than me is not worthy of me. And he that does not take his cross and follow after me is not worthy of me. He that finds his life shall lose it, and he that loses his life for my sake shall find it. He that receives you receives me, and he that receives me receives him who sent me. He that receives a prophet in the name of a prophet shall receive a prophet's reward. And he that receives a righteous man in the name of a righteous man shall receive a righteous man's reward. And whoever shall give to drink a cup of cold water only to one of these little ones in the name of a disciple, verily I say to you, he shall not lose his reward. Chapter 11. And it came to pass, when Jesus made an end of commanding his 12 disciples, that he departed thence to teach and to preach in their cities. And John, having heard in the prison the works of the Christ, sent by his disciples, and said to him, Art thou he that comes, or look we for another? And Jesus answering said to them, Go and report to John what ye hear and see. The blind receive sight, and the lame walk. Lepers are cleansed, and the deaf hear. The dead are raised, and to the poor good tidings are published. And happy is he, whoever shall not be offended at me. And as these were departing, Jesus began to say to the multitudes concerning John, What went ye out into the wilderness to behold? A reed shaken by the wind? But what went ye out to see? A man clothed in soft raiment? Behold, they who wear soft clothing are in kings' houses. But what went ye out to see? A prophet? Yea, I say to you, and more than a prophet. For this is he of whom it is written, Behold, I send forth my messenger before thy face, who shall prepare thy way before thee. Verily I say to you, among those born of women, there has not risen a greater than John the Immerser. But he who is least in the kingdom of heaven is greater than he. And from the days of John the Immerser until now, the kingdom of heaven suffers violence, and the violent seize upon it. For all the prophets and the law prophesied until John. And if ye are willing to receive it, he is the Elijah that should come. He that has ears to hear, let him hear. But to what shall I liken this generation? It is like to children sitting in the markets, who call to their fellows and say, We piped to you, and ye danced not. We sang the lament, and ye did not beat the breast. For John came neither eating nor drinking, and they say, He has a demon. The Son of Man came eating and drinking, and they say, Behold, a glutton and a wine drinker, a friend of publicans and sinners. But wisdom was justified on the part of her children. Then began he to upbraid the cities wherein most of his miracles were done, because they repented not. Woe to thee, Chorazin! Woe to thee, Bethsaida! For if the miracles that were done in you had been done in Tyre and Sidon, they would have repented long ago in sackcloth and ashes. But I say to you, it will be more tolerable for Tyre and Sidon in the day of judgment than for you. And thou, Capernaum, that wast exalted to heaven, shalt go down to the underworld. For if the miracles that were done in thee had been done in Sodom, it would have remained until this day. But I say to you that it will be more tolerable for the land of Sodom in the day of judgment than for thee. At that time Jesus answered and said, I thank thee, O Father, Lord of heaven and earth, that thou didst hide these things from the wise and discerning, and reveal them to babes. Yea, O Father, that so it seemed good in thy sight. All things were delivered to me by my Father, and no one knows the Son but the Father, nor does any one know the Father but the Son, and he to whom the Son is pleased to reveal him. Come unto me, all ye that labor and are heavy laden, and I will give you rest. Take my yoke upon you, and learn from me, for I am meek and lowly in heart, and ye shall find rest for your souls. For my yoke is easy, and my burden light. The end of chapters 8 through 11 of the Gospel according to Matthew, from the American Bible Union's New Testament. Recording by Mark Penfold.